Hello and welcome to my birthday special. Yes, I know. I've aged a lot again. So I could not actually deny myself a little bit of pleasure, and I decided to actually travel down the memory lane here and get myself a game that I could not actually max out back in 2007 when it first came out. And as we all seen from the trailer, that was kind of like a sneak peek before all this recording. It's Crysis. It's official, original, probably patched a bit, and you know what? It's been 13 years. So, this is gonna be kind of like, I would say, a graphical comparison and like a first mission walkthrough. Gameplay basically, I'm just gonna walk and talk and remember how it was back in the day and what differences we have now. So, just to start up, let's just take a look at all the system settings real quick. So as for graphics, I'm running full HD. Gonna set up anti-aliasing to 8. I cannot actually enable vertical sync. I'll show you later why. And for advanced, everything is on very high. There's literally nothing I can do about it. So let me just do this. And let's see how my rig with 980 will handle this, I would say, kind of legendary game when it came out, and it was point of reference and benchmarking for most of the hardware out there, as you know from all the memes and all the posts. Hey guys, I just got a new CPU, I got a new rig, but can it run Crysis? I mean, everybody remembers that. So yeah, I'm just gonna start a brand new game, and since I know this game in and out, I've played it too much back in the day. I do believe I finished it at least like 5 or 6 times. I don't actually remember. So I'm just gonna go with easy for storyline, as well. It's just to have a talk a bit. And again, this is not like an actual gameplay, and it's kind of like more for graphics. So let's just start in. I'm gonna shut up now and let's see how it goes. I put on some nice numbers. I got fraps running on upper right, and I got all the Riva Tuner stuff, so you can see how much frames are we getting, how much memory of the graphics card are we using, how much RAM are we using, and what the CPU does. So yeah, just remember, it's been 13 years, it's 2020, it's time to see how far the hardware has actually gone. I must say that trailer never gets old. So yeah, brings back a lot of good memories. So as we see, in terms of graphical usage, the VRAM of the memory was like what, roughly 500 megs, give or take. So let's see what the actual game sequence looks like. And let's see. Can we finally play this game on 60 frames, everything maxed out? Or it will again burn the computer to the crisp. Let's go.
This is Sky Chief, Red Angels 25, bearing east. Getting some radar interference. Looks like an electrical storm brewing.
That's a negative, Sky Chief. Nothing on our side. Skies are clear. Over.
Roger, Command. Must be a malfunction. ETA to drop zone 3 minutes.
Hey, Nomad. You still with us?
Okay, listen up, gentlemen. Intel reports a significant military presence on the island. We have the element of surprise, so let's use it. The North Koreans can't know we're here.
I won't even know what hit them.
Can it, Psycho? Pay attention. This is a covert operation. Our job is to locate and evacuate. We're not at war here.
Not yet.
Prophet, do we even know if these people are still alive?
That's what we're here to find out. We lost contact with Dr. Rosenthal a week ago when the Korean military locked down the island. 2 days ago, we picked up a distress signal from the team's research vessel. Someone down there wants to be found.
Raptor team, we're beginning approach. Stand by for green.
All right, gear up. Masks on. Once we clear the plane, form up on me. Shoots on my mark.
Green in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go, go, go!
See you guys at the LZ.
So, K-Sox got us chasing archaeologists now? Yeah, this will be a cakewalk.
I've heard of this guy. He must have found something big to buy all of his heat.
Whatever. $50 says this Rosenthal ain't the real reason we're here.
Lock it up, team. Stay focused. We got limited intel going in. Upcom's being moved to USS Constitution. Till they're 5x5, we're on our own. Shoots on my command. Go!
What the hell? You see that? Go, my team. He lost the shoot.
My shoot's gone. My damn shoot is gone. I've got no man, no reserve.
Keep it together, kid. You're over water. The suit should absorb the impact. Nomad, what's your status?
I'm okay. But my HUD's scrambled. What the hell was that?
I don't know, but you missed the LZ. Make your way to the beach.
On my way.
Did anyone hit the LZ?
You guys are all over the place. Check in.
Psycho. Down and on the move. Just a step. You see the LZ?
Aztec, I have negative visual feed from you. Report. Aztec, report. Damn it.
Prophet, made it to the beach.
You hit the water pretty hard. Some of your suit functions are offline. Let me run a quick diagnostic. The video feed is breaking up. I'm gonna try to recalibrate. All right, the suit checks out. You're back online. Still no word from Aztec. Nomad, Rendezvous with Jester and head to Aztec's location. Check your objectives display.
So here we are. Finally on the ground. I kind of let all the game dialogue to take place so I can freely interrupt and speak what I think. So honestly, this is so amazing. Now there is a couple things I want to cover first. Now first off, this game is a real treasure for gaming in general. The reason number one, this was one of the best applications of the CryEngine that came out. The first time the CryEngine actually saw the day of light was, or light of day, was with the Far Cry series. The very first Far Cry actually was using CryEngine, and the reason for CryEngine, it was allowing for open world and graphic fidelity. Now that wasn't the thing. So if you remember back in the day, so the old Call of Duties, Medal of Honor, stuff like that, you had really linear paths. You just go basically through the same alleyway and the enemies are just popping up, right? There was no really random encounters. There was like always the same enemies in the same place. Everything was scripted. So the CryEngine kind of allowed that to be in much wider scale. So one of the things that was kind of like a bit new was the hardware requirements. Now, first of all, I'm actually pretty surprised myself looking at all this. So it's not about how the game looks. I know how it looks, obviously, but how much resources it's actually using. So, in terms of graphics memory, if I can, well, trust the numbers I see on my screen, it takes over a gig of video memory. Back in 2007, when this game came out, there was not a single graphics card that would have more than 512 megabytes of video memory. That is a fact. So back in those times, I would say the modern cards that actually had PC Express slots, like 88 GT, GTS, some of the Radeons, it was still ATI, not even really a Radeon card. They were kind of rocking AGP / PCI Express, so it was kind of hard to get, well, basically a gig of video memory to begin with. And I remember when I got this game, I had my best gaming PC. If you would see the trailer of the Crysis, like the launch trailer, it actually says it plays best on Core 2 Quad. And I was actually one of the guys who happened to have that CPU. It was one of the first Intel's quad-core CPUs, Q6600, each core at 2.4, and I had actually NVIDIA 8800 GT, which had 512 megabytes of video memory and 8 gigs of RAM in total. So for those times, it was crazy spec PC. It was like top of the line. And it actually held its position pretty well for, I would say, about a year or so. Then, of course, the Intel released the next series for the Q series processors. And, well, I couldn't actually be the coolest guy on the block anymore. However, if I see how much resources this game is coming, well, hogging up right now, as in 2020, this is pretty amazing. I do believe that this game has basically been patched already, so it kind of, you know, probably uses a bit more resource than before, because I don't believe that a lot of people back in the day, back in days, could actually run over 4 gigs of RAM for the simple reason the 32-bit versions of Windows was more popular than 64-bit due to a lot of software incompatibility. So it was kind of useless to have a 64-bit Windows if you can't run half of the programs on it. That got fixed over the years when the XP or HP version of the Windows went to Windows Vista, and after Vista it was to Windows 7. In between the gap of Windows Vista and Windows 7, that was like the biggest change of the 64-bit architecture to support more RAM. So I must say that, to be honest, this is kind of pretty cool when you look at it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's such a huge leap when it comes to games and the technology itself. So yeah, this is definitely not bad. And when you look at this game particularly, there's so many features that was way ahead of its time. Like, first off, the shadows. Like, all this is apparently, if I remember correctly, rendered in real time. Of course, the light source in the sky is still a skybox, but it still looks good. This is 2007. With this particular version of CryEngine and the game, they did add a bit more of, or basically they added a bit of destructive environment. And that was showcased in a Crysis demo as well. Let me just chop down this tree real quick. If I can actually hit it. Guess I just cannot do that. Wait, hold up. Of course I can hit a tree. Like, look at this. This is amazing. And as you can see, all this moves as this model actually has weight, which was really hard to do. Of course, everybody comes up with, hey, Battlefield, you know, remember Battlefield 2 Bad Company, right? Battlefield 2 Bad Company was released in 2010. This game predates that game. Of course, I'm not entirely sure when the original Battlefield came out, but it was still pretty much in the works of getting all this implemented in the games. The reasons why Crysis was so demanding for the time was the developers and the company who made it, the Crytek. Okay, I'm just gonna talk over the guy a bit. Sorry about that. They're gonna talk a lot because this is like the very opening sequence, obviously. So the reason why the Crytek company was making this game and this engine particularly was because they basically thought that by the time the game is finished and for upcoming years, the single CPU or single core CPUs will be much more powerful than before. So the problem was they didn't actually imagine or predict that instead of a single core, the world will actually switch to multi-core support. And not many things actually supported multi-core at that time. That actually goes for most of the professional applications like Adobe, Photoshop and CorelDRAW. So those people were actually trying to get the best CPUs out there, but it was kind of still in vain, to be honest. So when it comes to this particular game, I can already see the shortcomings of it. So as you can see, currently we are running at insane 140 frames. If I shoot the water, my money is that the frames will drop, I would say, to 80. Let's give it a try. Okay, so frames actually didn't drop to 80, but it dropped significantly. Reason being, the Unreal Engine, in its infancy, I would say, is trying to render each droplet of water shot. Same goes for the shadows. As you can see, this game is before all the RTX. I don't have an RTX card. The shadows of the actual object are the leaves on this palm tree. So all this was actually made possible with the DirectX 9 and DirectX 10 support, which was pretty goddamn new. You could not get DirectX 10 on Windows XP, you could get DirectX 10 on Windows Vista, if you had the hardware that supports it. So there was a lot of things that these guys actually made, you know, kind of like future-proofing themselves, and goddamn, that was taxing on every system. Of course, they didn't make everything perfect, but to be completely fair, I cannot blame them. Like, the movement itself in this game, even running over 60 frames, as you can see, the CPU. So I have what? Basically about 2 cores are doing something and the rest is just chilling. Like, this is exactly what it does. So one core is like doing overtime at 92% and the second one is trying to help out somehow at 54%, but overall, not all of them are actually engaging because the game itself is not coded to utilize more than 1 or 2 cores. The quad core technically should use at least 4 cores to distribute the load, but as you can see, it's not happening as well. And this is why for all high-end systems, even in 2020, this game kind of gives you a bit of a run for its money. Now, I cannot say that it's all that bad. First and foremost, you kind of need to know where you get this game from. I picked this game up from Origin, for the reason being that, in my experience, Origin is much more compatible with older versions of games and Windows 10 than it's with Steam. I did my research before, and actually I saw that on Steam a lot of people had an issue they couldn't even launch the game.
Sound off now!
Okay, so the tragic, prologue of the game. So I guess I'll just have to shut up for about the next 2 minutes, but I'll continue, so stay with me here.
Jesus. What the hell happened here? You hear that? I don't like this, man. Shit, son of a bitch!
Chester, report in. What's Aztec status?
Dead, boss.
Damn it! What the hell is going on out there?
I don't know, but I don't think we're alone out here.
What have you got? KPA?
Negative, sir. We got 4 dead Koreans, but there's no way Aztec killed them. Something else took these guys out. That's where their bodies are bad.
All right, pay your respects and move on. Rendezvous at the landing zone.
What about Aztec, sir? We just gonna leave them hanging here?
Negative. We're gonna vaporize. We can't allow the Koreans to get their hands on that suit. Stand back.
Damn it. Never get used to it. Adios, amigo.
Chester, take care of his equipment and cover our tracks. Nomad, move out to the LZ.
Got it, boss.
I'm on you, Prophet. Hold on. I'm seeing movement ahead. Switch to cloak room. KPA patrol. Deal with them. Be nice.
I find you.
Energy critical. Maximum armor. Cloak engaged. Maximum armor.
Okay, so since we're in the clear now, let me just continue my little rant here. Now, when it comes to Crysis itself, of course, the game itself does not really come very optimized even for 2020. As you can see, my 980 is actually working at 98% of the load, and we're using, well, pretty much 1.5 gigs of VRAM. So it's supposedly should be using, in my opinion, not more than 800 megs, and it should not be stressed out completely. These are not the highest settings. Well, I mean, it's not really that hard. It just shows. Jesus Prophet, shut the fuck up, I get it. So, the thing is, this game, it just shows how much stuff the GPU actually needs to do all the time. Now, of course, I'm gonna show you how it looks when you basically turn down the graphics, and what happens if I try to enable vertical synchronization, because I don't know if you guys can see this on the video recording, but my screen is tearing up like crazy, because since it's 60 Hz, then, well, 100 is not really helping it.
I spotted KPA patrols down on the beach. Use your binocs to tag them before you run out line.
So everybody remembers this stuff, to be completely fair.
That must be the jamming station.
Right, so let me just tag the guys. To be honest, I know that I'm not gonna tag all of them. There's at least one guy here, one walking around somewhere there, and stuff like that. But anyway, that is not the important bit here. The important bit is how well this game performs. Now, let me just demonstrate it real quick. Let's just go kill these guys. Hopefully we'll get reinforcement, get the Jeep rolling up, and let's see what we can actually do about all this. I hope he actually called the reinforcements, otherwise I'm standing here like an idiot. There should be a jeep rolling up. I'm not seeing no jeeps rolling up. Okay, anyway, let's just go there. I do believe there's at least one more guy I need to kill. Let's just disable this real quick here. So, for the time when this game came out, it had crazy amount of features in it. Some of the people actually don't even know, and I didn't know as well until I actually was replaying the game again and again, and I was hitting different scenarios. So, first one is the actual game physics. The physics in this game is actually so good that sometimes it will kill you. And I do believe it's kind of like, you know, not really on purpose, but it's just sometimes exactly how it is. So, for instance, this barrel of, well, explosives, it has weight. Look at this. It's gonna drop into the water, sink down, and rise back up. This object was actually made as a model with weight. Of course, in terms of actual physics, well, I mean, for game purposes, it will look nice. But when it explodes, look at the ripples at the water's surface. This is what taxes it. Thing number two that a lot of people doesn't know, and I never actually thought that this is, you know, so unknown. Let me just toss that red barrel just for fun. Is these barrels with liquid in it, like this one with oil. So let me just show you what I mean. So all this barrel is apparently full of oil. If I shoot a hole, you can see the oil seeping out. It's a simple animation, you know, it doesn't really make much sense of it. But the thing that actually surprises me the most is that apparently there is a volume of liquid inside there, because if I, for instance, shoot here, okay, that's much better. Now I can continue my lecture. So, if I shoot here, where I shot before, you can literally see there's nothing coming out. If I go a bit lower, let's assume this is where the oil was leaking out, and I do some holes here. How cool is this? I'm not saying that this is not, like, you know, pre-made, but at this point, this barrel is supposedly to be empty. Let's just drain it completely, you know, as much as we can possibly drain it. And how do you think what's gonna happen? You can shoot with it wherever. It's actually empty now. This is crazy.
Good job. Tax system back online. Proceed to the LZ.
So I loaded up the game, of course, and just for the simple things that I wanted to show you, the graphical comparison, because that was kind of one of the things that, you know, went over my head. So we know how all this looks and we see the frames. Let me just show you how this game looked if it was completely on minimal settings. So let's just run everything on low. It's gonna think a bit. There we go, let's check everything, full screen. Do any of you recognizes the first Far Cry? Like, quite, I'm not kidding, like all this. A bit more sharpness, you know, and a bit more contrast for certain things. But do you remember the first Far Cry? You can actually go and Google it. Gameplay of the first Far Cry. This is exactly how it looked. And this game is from basically the same engine. It was just made pretty, and all these improvements on the game was one of the reasons why it was running kind of rough around edges. And even now, again, yes, I will repeat myself, it is not running 100% the way I would, well, kind of want it to run. But look at the usage of our system resources. The GPU usage has dropped down to 44%, however the amount of VRAM used is not dropped down below 1 GB. But the frames have well, improved, I would say dramatically. We're basically hitting like 250 frames. Draw distance, what is that? No idea. We can still see something, like, I mean, seeing that barrel that pops in and out of existence when the draw distance comes into play is kind of cool. Those ships, they are not real, you can't even reach them. These guys will probably kill me if I don't duck. So let me just do that real quick. I mean, all of this, you can just see how much magic has been applied to this game when it comes to running it or trying to get it to wider audiences. This game was also ported for consoles, and oh my god, that did not age well. The consoles were struggling. They were kind of playing on medium settings, and actually on medium it doesn't really look that bad. So let me just give you a quick, like a demo of how it looks. Let's take for preset and let's go for medium. I hope I'm gonna... not really the console level. The consoles were still looking actually better than this. So I do believe it might be kind of like mixed bag of medium and high, to be honest. But the frames were locked on 30. Now, when it comes to frames, this is the fun stuff. Of course, as you see, I was pretty much feeling confident about myself, maxing everything out, prepared for whatever comes, and I was not disappointed when it comes to it. So I'm gonna show you what literally made me wonder what the hell is going on with this game. Object quality is on low. Oh my god, what happened? I don't know which object it refers to, but anyway. So as you see, we're kind of running at 150 frames. Oh god damn it, I need to get rid of the gunship somehow. Okay, we're gonna use that boat later on anyway. So, the one thing that was really surprising me is vertical sync. This literally breaks the game. And I would say in a good way. But if I enable vertical sync, see what happens. Game frame locks itself on 24 frames. Yes, it's still playable. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's no more frame dips because, well, it's kind of hard to dip below 24 frames, to be completely fair with you. But I think this is exactly what consoles were getting, because if you lock like the PlayStation 3, which is rather powerful console for the time it came out, it was pretty much considered the next gen for PlayStation 2, which is roughly, again, the same time the Destiny launched, so it was kind of like one of those times, and Crysis, well, was obviously before, so the hardware was better. However, for a long time, a lot of console games were still locked on 30 frames. So if you lock it on 24, and as you can see, there's not too much input lag. I mean, I can freely move, aim and shoot, and still have the same graphical fidelity. The physics are still there. I mean, literally the fence like just kind of died. I mean, this is a very good idea in terms of engineering or production. How you can deliver the same product to wider audience, even if the hardware is not capable of running it. Well, for me today, of course, it's not the case. So, I'm gonna just turn it off and set everything on very high, and hopefully it will actually do it. Oh, is this the motion blur? Crank that stuff. Anything I forgot? Or anti-analyzing, of course. There you go, 8 times. Maybe that actually is connected to the graph object's quality? No idea why it's low now. I guess we're stuck with low for the time being. Anyway, so back to it. What made this game great? I mean, do I really have to ask? Just look at this. At 2007, seeing your own legs while you are going backwards, you couldn't have done it. Diving down, having all this suit, which you can literally kind of hack if you know how to use it. For instance, being a dolphin. If you know how to use the speed boost. I mean, come on. This game was well worth the attention of a lot of people. So, I cannot blame the company who released it, and I'm very, very happy that after all this time, in 2020, I'm able to actually make this game out and play it on above 60 frames.
Block the path of the balance. Deal with that first. Transmitting the coordinates now. Listen up. Track the distress signal to a valley 3 clicks due east. Psycho and I are inbound. Head to the rendezvous, but be advised. Enemy forces are dug in deep.
Copy, Prophet.
Nomad, JSON indicates that the DBA have a command post on the eastern peninsula. I need you to infiltrate and check for intel on enemy emplacements. I'm uploading the coordinates now.
Roger that.
Okay, so technically we're getting hunted by another boat, which I know is not really a good idea, but hey, what can I do? I kind of forgot that that is not the checkpoint I was going for, but you know, it's gonna do just fine. Just to show you all the features that this game actually had back in the day, and no one actually remembers it anymore.
We ran into a KPA checkpoint up here. You're gonna need some firepower.
Like all this water dripping effect from the lenses or the mask. That was new. I mean, the AI is pretty dumb, but again, we're kind of playing on easy, so to be honest, I'm not surprised that they're kind of stumbling up, you know, all around the place without being able to shoot me. Which is not a bad thing. Oh, come on. Yeah, so using the speed actually can kill you if you use it incorrectly. Well, in terms of correct, incorrect, that's kind of strong language I'm using here, but you kind of get the point. Also, let's just bring some havoc here. I mean, this is Crysis. So keep in mind that all this is fully destructible. If someone tosses a grenade, I'm gone. And this is one of the things that I really liked about the game when it just came out. The option of you can use the master flank, you can just do whatever you want, and if you're good enough, you can just win, you know? Playing on Delta difficulty was kind of hard. If you did not know where all the enemies are before even going for it, you are killed instantly. And Delta difficulty does not really allow second chances. So yeah, I mean, you want to give it a go, sure, but it is more about being stealthy and taking them all out with the suppressor rather than going all guns blazing. I think there's still someone. I really hope they did not blow up my grenade cache that I was kind of hoping of picking up. But there's also a shotgun, so we might just give that a go. I mean, this is epic. Always has been. Always will be. Come on, jump up. The ragdoll effects and stuff like this. Oh, there we have my grenades. Or their grenades. Because, well, this is kind of like Korean, so I do believe there's some kind of communism going on here. How can you not love this game? You can actually add weapons, Bob, and it will make the weapons even more inaccurate if you want that additional challenge. Or you can just get exploded by the car. But this is the point. So even after 13 years replaying this game, you can still have fun. How many games can you just like name yourself and say, you know what? This is it. This is the game I want to replay again and again and have good memories when playing it. Yes, you can play Call of Duty, you can play a lot of games, to be honest. I mean, we had so many good games over the years, but when it comes to certain time period of which year, like 2005, 6, 7, 8, I mean, there's a reason why people said that that was the golden era of gaming. We had all these good games. And unfortunately, we just don't have them anymore. Which is a bit sad, but that is the truth. Just look at this. Absolute madness. And this was better than Battlefield. Well, okay. I take that back. Battlefield has pretty strong roots when it comes to certain things in gaming, so I cannot say it's bad. But this, for its time, this is amazing. Let me just destroy this house real quick. Something no other games had at the time. So yeah. Best thing about this game, it doesn't crash. The original game was crashing a lot. Reason being, if you were playing it on a 32-bit system, you could not use more than 3.25 gigs of RAM. And as you see, right now it's actually using close to 5. So, I mean, I believe this game should have released in 2020. I do believe the company itself would not survive till 2020 if they didn't release this title, and I'm pretty happy they did. But yeah, if this game is still giving all the new hardware runs for its money, that means it's actually a quality thing, I think, right? It would be really disappointing if you had the memory of the game and you try to play it, and now it would look differently. And this guy just blew up this portion of the roof because he could. This is what fun means. This is something the new gaming industry bosses need to understand. I mean, I'm getting fucked from the seaside because they know I'm somewhere around here. And it looks amazing. Look at this. Can I nag them enough for them to try to shoot me again? Come on. Come on, boys. Look at this. It is amazing. All this ricocheting bullets, everything. The sound effects, how it sounds when the bullets supposedly hit you or the suit. I mean, I haven't seen this sound design or engineering in many games throughout the years. I mean, the Battlefield always had very good sound design. It was pretty much always spot on. Doesn't matter if it's multiplayer, gun shooting, single player, it was pretty much always spot on. But this is not the only thing that this game actually had. Now, I know this video might run a bit longer, and I know you've seen a lot of Crysis review videos, but I'm kind of nitpicking the small things, obviously, as you know. And there is one thing that is very, very surprising for me when it comes to 2007 titles. I just need to find the car. This is a checkpoint here, but I don't think that there will be any one of them to actually give me any troubles. So I'm gonna take off this. So you see it's a car, right? I mean, it's pretty standard. Yeah, shiny tires, you can see my shadow. Frames over 60, life is good. Oh my god, the tire exploded, right? That is not such a big deal, a lot of games has it. Have anyone actually tried to shoot the window? Watch closely how the glass shatters where the bullet hits it. It literally seeps down and then it breaks. I'm not saying this is, you know, like life-changing, but to see this happen in real life, like when you are just trying to shoot someone, this level of detail you would get in Ghost Recon Wildlands, which is 2017 game, or Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which is 2019 game. I mean, holy crap, those guys who are making this game, they were so ahead of their time. It's insane. And we could not appreciate this for the simple reason we didn't have the hardware for it. How stupid is that? I mean, I still cannot believe that this game, if someone would wipe my memory and give me this game in 2020 and tell me, hey, give it a go, I would be probably as stoked as I was back in the day. Because this game hasn't really aged that much. Okay, I think if I'm not gonna take this seriously, they're gonna kill me, and I kinda don't like this. I know, I suck at this game a bit. Oh, I have bullets. Great. I'm just here for the grenades. Can you please get out of the house because it's about to go on you? I'm sorry guys. I cannot tell you which game had this much destruction and fun. I would actually say Battlefield 2 Bad Company, Battlefield 3, and at Battlefield 4 it kind of stopped being fun because it was more realistic, bulky weapons, stuff like that. But look at this. Oh, you don't like that boat, right? I mean, it's annoying, I get you. What can you do about it? In most modern titles, you need to hide. In this, just find a gun and shoot back. I mean, literally. How cool is this? Of course, shooting a machine gun against an enemy that's attacking you is not really, you know, something new. But at the same time, shooting it because you want to shoot him instead of the game puts you to a machine gun and tells you to shoot, that is completely different freedom of choice. Also, when it comes to level design in this game, I can start and I can go straight up for the mission, up on that mountaintop over there. And I could have skipped this. I could have skipped the little... Well, actually I did skip a village in between. And this is what matters. It was fully open world, free roam. Play as you want. And this is what Crytek actually said with the logo. Maximum game. You play your game, your rules. And this is what we all need in the years upcoming. So yeah. On this nostalgic note, and a bit of ranting, and a bit feeling proud of being able to run this game at over 60 frames, I'll let you be, guys. So, thanks for watching, and as always, stay classic.